Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good to say I dabbled in stand-up for something. I haven't even disrespected you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chrissie Mayr podcast. You can listen to this podcast everywhere. We're all over the place. Facebook, even though Facebook often will take this podcast down for hate speech. We're just having a regular old conversation. But we're on Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, Rockfin, YouTube. We're all over the place. Spotify, SoundCloud. So please subscribe if you're watching now on YouTube and give me a little like, give me a little love. Before I bring on my fabulous guest, I have to promote a show coming up. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. Come see me. Look at my seductive face I'm giving in this flyer. Come see me at Jazz on Main in Mount Kisco. This is a lovely little jazz club right here in Westchester. Saturday, May 17th. It's going to be a fun little intimate show. Come hang out if you live in Westchester or anywhere in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Come hang out. And the wonderful Keanu Thompson will be opening for me. So it's just going to be a fun night. Go to jazzonmain.com for tickets, or you could go to my website, chrissiemayr.com. I have more shows coming up. Long Island. I'll be in Ohio, Phoenix, Plano, Texas, San Diego. So stay tuned for more tickets and more shows. And we got projects. We're working on some very cool projects that we can't announce just yet. So you'll just have to continue to sit tight and guess what it is. And no, I'm not pregnant again. Guys, our guest today, oh my gosh, do we go way back? We go way, way back to the Compound Media days, but he's been just absolutely killing it out there, doing stand-up, doing his show on The Blaze with Quarter Black Garrett called Normal World. He's also got a book coming out. We're going to talk about all of that and more. Welcome to the show, the lovely, the hilarious Dave Landau. Woohoo!
Ooh, hello, Chrissie. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm fantastic. I'm slightly creeped out and intrigued by that pillow behind you. What is going on there?
That's Nicolas Cage.
Wow, he's truly creeping.
Yeah, he's always watching me. He moves on his own,
and it looks shiny, like he's sweating back there.
Well, you can take his face off, like the movie Face Off.
Oh my god!
Pretty exciting.
Where did you even get that?
I have a bunch of people that have sent me Nicolas Cage shit ever since Anthony and I reviewed Face Off in his home theater.
How long ago was that?
God, probably 5 years.
So you've been collecting Nicolas Cage memorabilia for 5 years.
And oddly, most of it's pillowcases. Like I have a furry one that's for like an actual like normal like bed pillow, like a queen size bed pillow. Yeah, and that one's just Nicolas Cage shirtless. And then I have varying Nicolas Cages. But yeah, I appreciate them all. I don't have a favorite.
They're perfect to bring out when you want to scare a woman off. I think like if you have a date that's not going so well and you're like, this is how I'm going to break up with her. I'm just going to take out all my Nicolas Cage pillows. And
I think if you decorate your house full of a celebrity and then bring them over, that's the best way to do it, and just act nonchalant about it.
I always want to have, like, if I ever make a lot of money one day, I want to have like themed rooms, like a New Orleans themed bathroom, or like, I don't know, a clown bathroom, or like just themed rooms. Although I think the clown bathroom would scare people.
It would. The Nicolas Cage in the yard. But
wow, yes.
You could do that. But yeah, also clowns, you do have a child, so you probably don't want to have a clown bathroom. That will ruin them for the rest of their life.
True. I am worried about the ways in which he might be traumatized. So like one time we did like peekaboo or like and he just like cried and screamed, and so we're like, wow, we gotta watch it now.
How old is he?
He just turned 1. He's actually he'll be 13 months in 5 days. Whoa.
Congratulations. I knew he was new, but I didn't realize it was a year yet.
It is. Every day I look at him and I'm like, how did you get here? What is this? What's going on? Like, it hasn't really, like, the whole time I was pregnant, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I know this happens to other people, but it just, it happens whether you're ready or not. You get bigger, it comes out, then it lives and grows up. And
the first 6 months is a good indicator if it lives, and then after that you feel kind of like you've done the
right,
job,
because the risk of SIDS goes down considerably after 6 months. So.
Well, and also apparently in the 80s, a lot of people were just throwing toys and garbage and plastic bags into the cribs, so I think that was part of it.
That's when they started putting the baby with a no sign on all the plastic bags. I'm like, yes. Who's giving their kid plastic bags to play with of all the things?
Apparently a lot of people to make up an illness.
What?
I'm just saying, like, I think SIDS is a result of like suffocation.
Oh. Yeah, I think SIDS is like a catch-all phrase for like you just fucked up as a parent. Yeah. Like you gave him the wrong toy, or like you gave him, too many jabs or the wrong jab.
Right, you fell asleep on it, or
you rolled on top. We can co-sleep.
Yeah. Or you decided to use one of those 1950s cribs that have like an ashtray on them and they're just pure metal.
Yeah, I did so many like classes before giving birth about like childcare and like breastfeeding. So many classes like that did anything, but they'd always have these visuals of like how not to have your baby sleep, and it was always like, don't have their chin, like don't have their head stuck in the bars of the crib, don't have them face first with their head under the mattress and things like that.
Yeah, you're like, I guess they're not supposed to sleep in the rocker, but my son slept in the rocker for the first year because no one told us that.
In like the thing that you strap them into, and like
they rock back and forth, because he loved it.
He slept in that?
He'd sleep like 8 hours.
What? Oh, you had one of those babies that slept through the night right away? Good for you.
And then when we told the doctor, he's like, that couldn't kill your child. You're not supposed to do that. And we were like, what? Why didn't you say, like, why would you have it anyway if there's that risk?
Wow.
So, but no, he lived.
But you know what? It just goes through, some things work really well for some people and others die from it, like smokers. Some people die from it. Some people live to be real old and still smoke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all have that grandpa or that uncle or George Burns who just smoked 18 cigars a day until the day he died at like 150.
Yeah, and it's like they would die sooner if they stopped smoking.
Right. Yeah, it's all who knows. We're all gonna die of something. We just don't know.
You gotta just pick your thing, pick your battles. So for people who don't know, Dave and I, we go way back. We met at Compound Media. What year did you start over there? You were co-hosting with Kumia on the Kumia show.
I think 2018, and I started going on as a guest like maybe a year or two before that.
Oh wow! So I started, I think it was, was it? It might have been 2019. And then I was guesting at 2018. So very, very cool. You've had a really awesome career, and you toured all over. And then you went on and you did some time with Louder with Crowder. Then you went on to The Blaze. And for people who don't know, please watch Normal World. It is on The Blaze with the lovely Quarter Black Garrett, who, if you guys know me from Friday Night Tights, you recognize him from that.
And you've been on the show.
Yes, I've been on the show, I think twice. And I like it because the armrests just like come up They make me feel small.
Yeah, the chairs are ridiculous.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're comfy, but they are ridiculous.
They do make you feel like a serious TV guest, though, for sure.
That's what I try to pretend it is.
Mhm.
We all know it's not.
And you have a new book out. This is very exciting. And you were telling me before we went live that of all people, my good friend and now your good friend Lila Hart was actually one of the people that helped to kind of proofread.
Yeah, I had only shown it to a couple people, and she was telling me how much she likes to read, and I actually believed her because she's a woman.
Mhm.
And that's who I see reading most of the time on planes or whatever. And she really wanted to read it, so I sent it to her, and she kind of gave me the confidence. She was like one of the 3 people that really convinced me to put it out.
Wow.
Because she loved it. She's like, I went through this in a day, because she like hit me back with almost immediately talking about everything in it. And I released it kind of shortly after that.
Party of One, a fuzzy memoir. Party of One is more than just another reflective rambling from another comedian. It's a brutal coming-of-age memoir that takes you through Landau's youth around the Motor City. That's Detroit, if you guys don't know.
Mm-hmm.
His difficult family dynamic, his struggles with addiction, his desire to be accepted, forgiven, and not forgotten. He's done a hell of a lot of living for a guy this young, and Landau knows how lucky he was to come out of the other side. And that journey purged not only a brilliant stand-up, but a prolific author, granting us a window into his past that will connect all the dots from teen addict to sober warrior to successful comedian. Wow, that was from Brad Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
he wrote the
cool.
foreword for me, which was nice. So
there's a forward. Is there a backward? Like, is there like a closing?
there's just thank yous.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, there's kind of a closing statement, I guess you could say, but it definitely ends. And then maybe there'll be a round 2. We'll see.
I like that it recommends with your book to also buy Butler, the untold story of the near assassination of Donald Trump, and also Fight, inside the wildest battle for the White House.
Yes. Well, also you get Kumia's book, his latest one down there, I see. And then what's that?
Yeah.
And I
Glenn
do love
Beck.
And The Exploding Detective, which is a fantastic book by a Simpsons writer. That is a wide variety.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is The Children We Left Behind. This is Adam Coleman's book. That's probably why it's in the
And then I see your kids' books you have there right underneath.
Books I may like. This is not because I have a kid. This is just my reading level here.
Yes, right.
How to Raise a Healthy Child in Spite of Your Doctor. Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Sleigh. And, of course, 15 Animals.
Yes.
Which is as far as I can count up.
What's your favorite?
For sure, the horse.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah.
No, these Sandra
Strong
Boynton
animal.
These Sandra Boynton books, we're obsessed. I like keep buying them for the baby because it's got simple illustrations and they're easy for me to read. So
yeah, and they're not AI generated like crap. They're actual drawings, which I think is good.
Oh, look, more kids' books. Your nose.
And then Fourth Wing.
Mm-hmm. Fuck Miss Rachel. She's doing fine. I don't need to buy any of her.
She's doing too fine.
She really is. She needs to be put in her place.
Yeah, it's too much.
What made you want to write a book?
I was actually at Anthony's house during the pandemic when I was staying there.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, and I wasn't doing stand-up, so I was just traveling back and forth, but I wanted to do writing. And I just started writing out different stories from my life. And then over the course of time, I ended up writing 17 or 18 in a row. And then I just turned it into a book. I met a rock author named John Wiederhorn on Don Jameson's show, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he wrote a book about Al Jorgensen from Ministry and like Scott Ian from Anthrax. And I wanted him to look at it to see what he thought. And he loved it. He kind of just structured it, And then I sat on it for 5 years because a lot of the stuff in it I didn't want to put out, or at least I wasn't ready to, at least so I thought. Because a lot of it's about everything that's happened to me from the time I was about 13 until I got into stand-up. And finally, I showed it to several people who all, like, I gave it to people that were really critical, and then like Lila was a stranger, and I gave it to a couple other people. Not a stranger, but she didn't know me as well as other people, and then she connected with it, and we've been very good friends since. And once people were able to connect with it and talk to me about it, I thought I'd put it out there, and so far people have been really, really receptive to it.
Wow, what were some of the things you were like, or if you want to, not to like blow the surprise of the book, but what was something that you were afraid to come out about with right away?
There were a couple deaths in there that involved friends, and there were a lot more serious parts of the book. The book kind of reads as my addiction progressed. So it starts at when I try alcohol, and then it kind of just goes through until I start stand-up. So I wanted to actually talk to the people who I was, I wanted to talk to the family members and make sure it was okay. So I did that.
Wow, okay.
And then because I was a blackout drunk and drug addict, I also wanted to check with everybody to make sure the stories were accurate. So I had to just kind of play a little bit of detective and make sure that everything that I remember, or at least remembered it the way that I did, was right. And it turned out it was. So
okay, so you couldn't have been that blacked out.
I was pretty blacked out. I would wake up during the arrest portion, and that's what happens in the book. So there's a lot of arrests in the book. There's a lot of like usually once the cops got involved, or maybe there was an accident, that's when I would remember.
Oh,
but
wow.
There would be good portions of, like, there's a good part of my teens that I just don't remember.
Wow. I've never blacked out. Is that weird?
Have you never really?
No. I've always been a very motivated person and love drinking, so I don't know why the two have never come together. I just
maybe you do all the time and you don't know.
I don't think so. It's blacking out is when you don't remember stuff, right?
Yeah. You wake up realizing that you're blacked out.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened. I mean, I've woken up like very hungover, or like woke up still drunk, but
have you browned out where you just kind of don't remember?
Like what, hooking up with a brown person and you're like, oh, yes. No, get off
like
me.
Browned out, like every hole.
I'm browned out. It was just when you have Mexican and then you get really hammered.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, it's like that's just kind of like when it's fuzzy.
Okay, so there's browning out. Is there like yellowing out? Is there anything even lesser than that where you just pee the bed?
Yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's that. I mean, I know a lot of people that have done that. But I would wake up. I mean, I would wake up in bushes and driveways.
In bushes? Like women's bushes?
Yeah, I would wake up in women's bushes.
Oh God, shave this damn thing.
It was the 90s. It was fine. It was still okay to have some.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was, I would wake up anywhere, just blackout drunk. I would wake up in houses where I didn't know where I was. I would wake up in, I never woke up in a kid's race car bed like Robert Downey Jr., but I've done good, So wow. Yeah, I've had a lot of things where I don't know what the hell happened, and I still don't.
Wow. Was there anything that you ended up revealing that you, like, what were you the most, I guess, tentative about? Was it the deaths, or was it?
A lot of the stuff that I did.
Okay.
Making sure what a statute of limitations is. And it's not like rape, obviously, but breaking into cars, stuff like that I was doing. And just
regular black people stuff, nothing crazy.
Yeah, just Detroit stuff, because you want to be like your neighbors.
Yeah, you just want to fit in.
Yeah, so you're just doing your hood stuff. And I mean, I've taken just a lot of drugs, a lot of acid, a lot of the stuff involved people that I know, and they could be picked out of it. And I was apprehensive in sharing that part of my story. I mean, I do it on stage, but it was the real, like, fleshed out true stories. And finally I did it.
How did you, acid to me seems like, I don't know, maybe this is why I've never been into drugs, but there's weed, and then there's like everything else, even like coke, which is probably the next step up. but there's something about like cocaine and everything after that makes me go, like, it makes my butthole clench. It's like that feeling of like, that's a real drug. And that feeling is what has like kept me from doing these things. And I don't know if anybody in the chat gets the same. Clearly, you didn't get this butthole clenched feeling. You just went right for it. But
no, I did, but it wasn't with psychedelics. Like, to me, once you did acid or once you smoked weed, acid and then mushrooms were kind of the logical next step in like mescaline.
Wow.
And then when you got into cocaine, I think once I started doing cocaine, you're kind of just breaking a law of the universe and you're getting into something that you really shouldn't. Like, it's definitely something that made me uncomfortable. And so was heroin. And that was, but cocaine now.
It just clenched again when you said heroin. I was like, that's like the scariest.
But they were both cleaner in the 90s. They weren't filled with fentanyl.
Right.
And the reason why I got into a lot of them was, like I talked about in the book, for example, I worked at a pharmacy and I worked with another guy where we would take out the trash. But this was the 90s, like when people would come in, like you could sign a prescription with an Oxycontin pen from a doctor. I mean, it was nothing there were no pill mills known of yet. There was nothing, like they were just known as pharmies and they weren't regulated the way they are now. But I'd go to take out the trash and you could just take out your cigarette cellophane, fill with 5s and 10s of Valium or Vicodin or whatever it was. Like, the Rolling Stones called it Mother's Little Helper. It had been around for a long time. And we would just take those and like I would sell some of them at school, take them myself. So I started doing pills and basically versions of harder drugs pretty quickly.
No wonder our moms and grandmothers got so much done around the house and never complained. They were all on drugs.
Well, they were sleeping from the drugs because that's usually what the Valium did. In case your wife had a political opinion or was mouthy, you just would stuff those in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, they would definitely knock you out. But the rest of it was, I think legal speed.
Wow.
Like to keep women thin. I forgot what they prescribed, but it was something in the 50s and 60s, which is why they couldn't stop cleaning like a tweaker.
Yes, because that's when I should get off my high horse about not doing drugs because I did do Adderall for a couple of years, and it does make you clean your whole apartment in like an hour. So
Adderall is one of the strongest drugs you can take.
I was on a super low dose. I was on 15 milligrams extended release. So that's supposed to last you 8 hours. And I took myself off of it because something about, and not that I was raised poor, but like we were very middle class. And I was like, well, if I'm on something that is $90 a month and I like lose my job, or if I can't afford it, like I shouldn't be on something that I can't afford. So then I just got myself off of it.
That is the exact opposite logic of any drug abuser.
Wow.
It's like, I shouldn't do this in case I run out of money.
Yeah.
Which is smart. I mean, and it's smart you're not on Adderall because chances are you would have just kept stacking it until you ended up having a horrible withdrawal. I don't know anybody who's ever taken that stuff like legally with a prescription that hasn't had some kind of negative consequence.
And I had a legit prescription from a real doctor. Like I know a lot of people just get quack, like Dr. Nick, like, hi, everybody. And then they get it from just anybody. I remember I had like so many different day jobs and I couldn't focus. And you go in, you take the test, and I passed it with flying colors and I got a real prescription. But now looking back, it's just, those jobs were horrible and boring, and it's because I wanted to do comedy. I wanted to be like doing something else, something more creative. So
there's a reason you turn to it. I mean, I've already been offered several Adderall prescriptions because of ADD. I just don't take them because I know what my addiction levels are.
Yeah, you're smart. It's like, okay,
now I am.
For a time, you are like, ooh, I'm losing weight because you have no hunger. It deadens your hunger, but then you get headaches and you get like you do crash from it. You get a little manic and like you have this focus, but you sometimes can't channel it. Like maybe you want to channel it towards your job, but then you end up just cleaning, or you end up organizing your pogs or something.
Yeah, the drug can. Yes, of course. Well, you
I
definitely
still have these.
You definitely took it in the 90s. Organizing, putting your slammers together.
My slammers and chippers, yes.
Oh man, yeah. When I was young, LSD though I loved. I mean, it was everywhere, and I could take it about every other day.
What? Wow,
And
that seems hardcore to me.
it was a lot, yeah. And then I eventually stopped after I tripped for about 7 days.
Is that what we call a bad trip?
It was a bad trip. I don't know what it was. It wouldn't get out of my system, and I didn't know that you could. I didn't know of anything that would take it down, And it
Wow.
went on for 7 straight days, and then
How
after
long?
that,
It was like a Hanukkah trip.
yes, it was. It was 8 days of
8 crazy nights.
8 crazy nights.
How long is it supposed to last?
12 hours,
Oh,
8 to 12, sometimes a day.
You just were on a loop.
Yeah, it just wouldn't stop. And
Whoa.
I don't know. The guy who sold to us said this is, what was it, Purple Jesus or some stupid name. And we were like, sure it is, whatever. So then we ended up just taking, I think it was like 13 hits. And yeah, my friend took 19. And after that, I didn't want to do it. Like that night we separated, then we came back. And he had cut open his arm, and he had this giant, like, bubbling gash.
Ew!
And he said
that
he
was
was
my
at his
nickname in college.
I know, right? I had a feeling. Giant bubbling gash. And it was burning, and it was like burned shut. And I was like, what the fuck did you do? And he's like, well, I've been trying to let all the bad blood out at my house. And he's like picking me up in his car.
Is he in the Middle Ages? There's no bad blood anymore.
Yeah, so he was in a worse shape than I was. I came back from the trip. He kind of never did, if you still talk to him today.
Wow. See, people who never, you hear about this. Oh, might not ever come back from that trip. And you're like, what? How is that possible?
Yeah, it was a full-on crazy diamond situation where he just switched.
Well, hopefully he's in a better place. I don't know. Probably not, though.
No, it's suburban Detroit. He's not.
And he's still got the bubbling gash. Have you ever checked in on him?
I have checked in on him from time to time. He's a lawyer.
What? Okay. See, this is he actually did better in life.
He did well for himself. He did, but he also has a blank stare,
which you need for the profession of law.
It is. You have to have a little bit of soullessness and
really glance.
Yes. And I remember the day he lost his, so it works out well for him.
Whoa. Wow. This really makes me want to read your book because I can live vicariously, and it's interesting to see how bad it can get, and then you still turned out really great. Like it seems like you really dodged a lot of bullets there.
Yeah, I mean, my height didn't work out and some other things, but other than that, it was fun.
I don't know that you could blame that on the drugs, though.
I have a twin brother that's 4 inches taller than me. I'm pretty sure you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just started. I mean, when you start smoking 3 packs a day at 13, 14 years old, and then you just start doing every single thing in front of you, because a lot of it was, and I think I've talked about it on your show before, my dad getting diagnosed with brain cancer.
Yeah.
And then he had it for 5 years and was living in Boston having surgery. And I just started coping with some stuff. And
how old were you when that happened?
When he got diagnosed, I was 13.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, my mom had brain cancer, but I was like already fully an adult, and she died in 2018. She only made it like less than 3 years.
I'm very sorry. It's really hard. It's something that it's very hard to operate on and very hard to get rid of. And every time you think there's a remission, it doesn't.
It's in it because it's just in a. Yeah, she had a tumor, and it like the tumor kind of like wraps around, So even if you cut out the bulk of it, like there's the arms and the little grippy things that you can't get out. And
when people say it's like the size of a softball, they imagine this thing just sitting on.
Right, it's just floating around in there.
Right, but it's not. It's grasped on. My dad's was on his brainstem, So part of it would go into his brain, some of it would go onto his spine, and they could only remove stuff for so long before it came back. It was impossible to remove it all without paralyzing him.
Wow.
But the VA was great. They gave us nothing, so it was good. It was all worth. Well, they gave us a folded flag and 3 soldiers shooting guns at his funeral. But other than that, we were not given much.
That sucks. Damn. Yeah, it is really hard because same thing with my mom. It just would come back, and they had to do a brain surgery on you while you're awake, so that they know not to cut too much, so that you can still function and move your. It's like the worst. It feels like the worst, one of the worst possible things to get.
I think, yeah, it's up there from what I've seen. I mean, other than complete immobility, but the pain, the headaches, I don't know. I don't know how people do it.
Then you go on the hard drugs. Then I could understand.
Yeah, then you can just take anything you want. Because why not? It's what I don't get that though. When people are like, when I get old, or like if I get sick, I'm going to take heroin. It's like they're going to prescribe you heroin.
Yeah,
you're going to be on it anyway. Like that's when you do the opposite. That's when you do coke or meth, or you want to, like that's when you try
all the club drugs. Yeah,
you take the uppers.
Have fun. Conrad Veet, thank you for the 10. Hey, Dave, I'm the guy after the Rosemont show who told you that Chrissy is the reason I discovered you.
Yes.
Missed your last Chicago show, but come back soon. Wow, Conrad, how cool.
Yes, thank you, Conrad.
How is it me? I'm so perplexed.
Could have been on one of your shows.
Yeah, probably that.
Wet Spot or this one.
Wow. Thanks, Conrad. How cool. Oh, God. It's Michael Gavinelli. Hi, Dave. I'm planning to see you at Uncle Vinny's in July. Question. Do you hear about the Dabbleverse? You hear of Tukey and Cardiff Electric?
No.
Good answer. Zach, Compound. It was my intro to Chrissy, Dave, and Malice. Thank you, Zach. Oh, my gosh. Michael Malice. What an icon.
Yes, he is.
I was so lucky to host for his show. Nightshade once, and it was like just a highlight of my Compound life. Oh, it's Michael Gavinelli again. Hello, everybody. And Dave Style, my favorite line.
Oh, there you go. Malice just did stand-up for his first time.
No way. Where? When?
Yeah, he did it in Austin at the Creek and the Cave, and I'm going to be doing his next show. He opens.
Oh my God, how cool!
I'm not doing his next one. I'm doing one in June, but yeah, he opens his show now with stand-up, and he's been working on it for like a year.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and I didn't think he was going to do it, and finally,
you heard it.
I didn't. I wanted to be there, but he finally like booked it and didn't really say anything. Treated it like it was a live podcast, and then he just opened with stand-up. And,
yeah, you know what? That's a good way to think about it. And he's already has so many transferable skills. Like he can speak in front of a crowd. He's funny. He's witty,
fearless.
He's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it when, and he's very critical of himself behind closed doors. So when he said it actually went well, I know he meant it. It must have gone pretty well.
He probably just practiced and was overly prepared.
Oh, the autism on it had to be crazy. Like. There's no doubt, but I really do want to see it because I'm sure it's really offensive.
Wow, I would love to see it too. It was like kind of similar to why Anthony was good at stand-up, because he had a lot of skills like from radio, and just he was funny, and he did great. Laziest Man on Mars, love you, Dave. Come to Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay, I'll be in South Carolina in Greenville.
Ooh,
that's close in June. But I would go to Charleston.
What clubs are in Greenville?
Comedy Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not far from Ant.
Junior says, Dave could be the funniest dare cop ever.
That's true.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Oh, Felicia. Hi, Felicia. Landau stand-up is too underrated for my comfort level.
Thank you, Felicia.
Oh, what's up, Felicia?
She's really funny. She did a set in Austin in front of me.
Oh, cool.
She did a really great job.
Yeah, she is funny. Junior for 5. I saw Michael Malice's stand-up in Austin last week. His jokes were so uncomfortable. You'll love it. Oh, that's so cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what I figured. There's no way he was going to, because even the stuff he told me, I'm like, so you're going down on your dead mother? Go on, Mike.
Oh.
So it's just, I know whatever it's going to be is
No.
just disturbing.
Oof. Wow, good for him. Chipicus. What's up, Chipicus? Hey, Dave, missed you and Anthony Cumia chemistry. Also missed your guys' social commentary and film commentary. Will you come back to the Cuse?
Definitely. I'm usually there every December. Hopefully I'll be there this December, but I will come back. And yes, I really do miss Compound Movie Nights. I got to do Ant's show last week and we were talking, it was nice. And Compound Movie Nights were my favorite.
Wow. His was it his radio show or his regular other podcast?
His radio show, the ABC
cool.
one. Didn't you do that, or aren't you doing
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll be on eventually, of course. Why wouldn't he have me? This is a great sachet into this topic. I've been studying this subject for quite some time now. His name is Greg Opie Hughes. This is a clip. Please dispel a rumor. He is under the assumption that everyone who has ever had anything to do with Compound Media is encouraged, paid, demanded, that they're ordered to make fun of him, to hate him. I'm going to just play a little clip so we can get a flavor for him.
Frank is Chrissie's husband. All right. I didn't know that.
Oh, because Frank had super chatted him. This all started. I wanted to get Opie on my podcast because I have a new studio. I was going to be like, I'll send a car for you, Opie. Come on in. Would love to talk to you one-on-one. And he said, no, you're boring. And I was like, well, that's it. Now I'm going to cover you every week until I'm dead. So my husband Frank super chats him. Okay, seriously, since you turned her down, Kumi is coming on to Chrissy's show this Friday. Any questions we should ask him? So it's just like now we just kind of troll him. But
okay,
let's see.
Her wife is that out of nowhere she started taking dumb shots at me because she worked for Anthony. I don't respect that. If you want to know the truth, I've never met her. I don't know anything about her. I know she's trying to be a comedian, but when I look at comedians that are doing it out there, her name doesn't pop up on any of the lists. I didn't know anything.
And I looked up the list of comedians that are doing it out there, and he's right. I was not on that list.
It's where do you find a list that says comedians that are doing it?
Out there.
Out there. I'm not even sure. I don't know what that means.
I bet you're on that list because you're doing it out there.
I don't know if I'm doing it out there, though.
Anything about her. And because she worked for Anthony, she felt like she had to attack me. I don't respect people like that, Frank. Like zero. These people, they don't have a mind of their own.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a whole culture.
That's
if you worked for Anthony, without even meeting me, you had to go all in and attack me. You know, it's been told to me over and over again by people I've actually had on this live stream. So Frank, I don't respect her at all because like it's weird. It's weird that she would.
First of all, I don't need you to respect me to come do my show. Why would I want respect? That's
there's so much respect that we got in the Compound universe that we would never want to be disrespected by anybody. The fans, are you fucking kidding me?
We've been doing I've been doing what I've been doing for basically 15 years with no respect. Why? If respect has not held me back one day.
No, there's plenty, and there's people that I have on my show that I don't respect, and it's just you talk anyway.
Right.
I have no respect for myself.
I regularly have people on, of course, not you, Dave, but I have guests on all the time that I don't respect. Yeah, of course, with normal world, you know, any kind of multiple times a week show, it's like you're gonna have people on that you disagree with, don't like.
Well, I've never met Opie, but I've never had an issue with him. And Anthony, I mean, obviously Anthony's made jokes and stuff, but there was never anything that he said you have to make fun of Opie. If anybody knows Anthony, he's the most laid back person in real life I think I've ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when they were doing a show, Carl Ruiz, who passed away, and Vic Henley were on the show. So Carl had reached out to me to see if he could cook for me and Mike Ward at his restaurant. And he did, and it was amazing. It was honestly some of the best food I've ever eaten in my life. He was incredible and a really nice guy. So I recall making an effort actually to connect with people on his show and to him because I was such a fan of Opie and Anthony. So I don't know where a lot of this pent up anger is coming from, but I've seen it the last few years, but I don't know. I've never met him, but yeah, if he believes that, I don't know why. Anthony's never told anybody to attack you. And the truth is, Opie was kind of the one who ran the pests, and that's who's going after him right now anyway.
When you say he ran the pests, what do you mean?
He encouraged people to do cruel things on the O&A show. Back in the day. Like just to, he would say like, don't go and give this restaurant horrible reviews, stuff like that.
Wow.
So, he kind of, and I'm not saying it's the worst thing ever, but it's like when he stomped on the homeless guy's cake or whatever. Sometimes he took it a little bit more sociopathic than.
So what he's doing is projecting right now, because he would be the one back in the day to encourage hate and bad behavior.
Yes.
Wow.
Which I say it as a fan. I have like I said, I have no problem with the guy. I love Anthony, and that's just the truth. But I don't know. I've never met Opie ever once. I've just seen him be angry.
I tried to meet him. Like you, I was kind of developing a friendship with Carl Ruiz. Same thing. I had messaged him, or like, this is before he died, and he was like, yeah, I can get you on Opie's show. And he's like, just come out to the city. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, meet at my restaurant. Okay, I met him at the restaurant. He cooked me something that was like delicious. And I was like, all right, I'm sure Opie's going to be here soon. And waiting. It was like hours went by. And then let's go out for meringues. Okay, we walk a couple blocks. We get these meringues. We eat them. Delicious. Great time. Come back. I'm like, what? This is turning into hours and hours. He's like texting Opie. Oh. And then Carl's like, oh, I guess he's on his boat today. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I was sort of that roped into a date, basically.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, and then also, yeah, that's true. He did just try to date you. But then look, if you look behind Opie, though, he's done very well for himself.
Mm-hmm. Look at the screensaver behind him. He has no reason to be this upset, this surly, this jaded.
I don't know. Yeah, I think he's not that young anymore, so it's not strange to retire.
No,
I mean, and he was a part of a legendary radio show. The thing is nobody won at the end of Opie and Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody won at the end of that show. Like when Anthony did his thing in the middle of the street with the stripper. He's probably the only guy in history who I would have said maybe apologize a little just to get your show back, just so you can keep the $4 million a year paycheck or whatever it was.
Okay. I didn't realize that's how much they were making.
They were making huge money at XM. They were making massive. I mean, it was the funniest radio show ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm comparing that even to Stern and Artie. It was funnier. It was better. It was the best show I've ever heard.
Wow.
In my opinion. And I don't know if Anthony was even given that choice. I think they just wanted to get rid of somebody. The suits probably didn't even listen to the show, and they just fired
costing them too much money.
Yeah, probably just and it probably didn't, but they just wanted it. They figured it would just retain the fan base.
Whoa.
And the second it lost Anthony, I mean, it became
they fired the wrong person.
Yeah, it became the intern's show. It's fucking crazy how that all worked out. So
wow. Yeah, because Sam Roberts was the intern. Was Jim Norton an intern too? No, he was like the third mic.
No, he was a comic that would come in, and then eventually they asked him to be the third mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible it was and he was good at what he did.
What was it that he did, Opie? He was just he definitely kept the chair from rolling away. He was a good straight man, I think.
There you go. I mean, some people say steer the ship, but he was a good interviewer, and when him and Anthony got along, they bounced off of each other very well, especially in the early days. I mean, he's the one that gave Anthony his break, and Anthony would say that too when he was, an air conditioning repairman in his mid-30s.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't have hate for Opie, but it's been like 5 years of Joe Rogan, please talk to me, and I don't get it.
Oh, it's so desperate. It's so bad. But because like I'm not Joe Rogan, like I don't deserve the time of day. Meanwhile, he's like, oh, I don't want to be in the Dabbleverse, but it's like, dude, you're in the Dabbleverse. It's happened. The Dabbleverse is in you.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to just be part of his trajectory. I don't know. It's bizarre to me.
Take these dumb, stupid ass shots at me when she never even met me, and the only thing she's got is that
he keeps saying, "Oh, I've never met the person. The person's never met me." Like, you don't need to meet Opie to know all about him and to make fun of him.
No, you don't even know anybody.
No.
What did somebody leave him? Paul Hogan gives the best BJs in all of Newcastle. Last night he gave me one in the woman's toilet at my daughter's funeral. $7.99.
How fun is that? He should be having fun with that super chat.
that she worked for Anthony, and Anthony makes it very clear about his hatred towards me. And if I hate him, and if you're going to work here, you got to hate him too. Do you feel embarrassed that your peers passed you by? No one has really done anything that great since Opie and Anthony Grant. I mean, that's the reality.
Nobody? I don't know. I think you're probably doing the worst career-wise. I mean, he's not even trying to have a career.
I think people have done stuff. It's fine. It's odd to, like, he's very angry. I've never seen Anthony talk about Opie in a way that was actually like this visceral.
Yeah, Anthony he's just very like live and let live. Like he doesn't get all worked up about Opie.
I mean, he'll take jabs that are jokes, but he'll also do it to anybody. He'll do it to your face in a fun way. I don't know. I've never seen Anthony behave in an angry way about Opie.
Yeah. True. Okay, good. Well, thank you for dispelling the rumor that Anthony does not tell us or make us hate on Opie as a requirement to work at Compound Media.
I don't think we ever talked about him for the first year I was third chair.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I don't think it ever really was brought up at all. And every now and then people would ask and he'd make a joke or two. But I don't know what that whole thing's crazy because I was going around the country doing stand-up and I was just a huge fan of that show. And I always thought, oh, it'd be cool if I was his co-host one day. Then somehow it happened.
How did it happen?
I don't know. I was a fan. And then my Allie Lerman, who was booking the show, liked my stand-up and invited me on. And the first day on, we just clicked. We started doing spousal abuse jokes for I think an hour and 20 minutes. And then, he invited me back, and then Artie liked me, and then they invited me back again and again, and then I just ended up getting offered a job. It was as crazy to me as because those were two of my heroes.
So how many times did you come on before you were offered a position?
I think like 7 or 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's over the course of just a few months, probably.
Like a year maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a blast. It was the best. And I miss it.
Yeah, you guys are really great, really funny together. Fook you, fat hoe. Chrissie Mayr, beautiful as a mayor, cannot unstare. Wow, that's just poetry right there. Maggie Ellis for 10. Dave, I am so stoked to see you again in Greenville, South Carolina. Chrissy should check out doing a show here too someday. I moved here from Portland, Oregon 15 years ago, and I'm more grateful every day. Cheers. Wow. Congrats, Maggie. You got out of Portland alive.
Yes, it's like slightly liberal there too, but in like a decent way, in like the way you would look at a 90s liberal.
Okay.
It's clean.
Okay. It's liberal, like in the sense they're like, okay, gays can exist.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We can have a store with a rainbow flag, but we're not going to get mad if you don't.
Yeah, you're not like forcing everyone's kids to transition kind of thing.
Right. Yes. It's not tense on the freeway progressive.
Okay, that's good. I wanted to get your take. This is a very old. Let's see, which one do I want to talk about? Let's do this one first. Okay. This was an article that came out in March. Now, Nikki Glaser is probably the most successful female comedian at the moment. She's a household name at this point. Oh no, do I have to sign up to read this? Okay, no, thank God. She's a household name. She
I do that all the time. I'm like, I guess we can't use
like,
this
I don't
article
know. I guess I'm just gonna cut this whole part out.
because you don't
Um,
remember, and then you realize you've paid $400 for like
right.
the New York Times.
She's hosted award shows. She looks amazing. Like she's made it in every sense of the word. Like I would consider her like Hollywood comedian, you know.
Yeah.
But here she's saying she considers the possibility. She now considers possibility of death threats or being detained before doing political humor. She's actually afraid of doing political humor, and I've seen this sentiment with people like what the hell's her name? Kathy Griffin, like, oh, Trump is going to deport me. Trump doesn't like me because I'm liberal. And
Rosie O'Donnell.
yes, who is now a full-time
Oliver
resident of
Platt.
Ireland. Yeah, she's left the country, thank God.
Yes, yeah, we do miss her, and her children who were abused by her miss her as well. Can you imagine being adopted by like a Hollywood star and then you run away from home again?
Yeah, you're like, well, oh God, a Hollywood star has adopted you, but it's Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, you're gonna really hate your life.
So here, this was from back in March. She was one of the few celebrities to walk the red carpet at this year's Mark Twain Prize. Certainly not because of the honoree, but because of the elephant in the room. Glazer said that she expected the evening would focus on the honoree Conan O'Brien, that there may be a few rebellious figures who joke about the situation. She told reporters that she thinks twice now before doing political jokes, including those at Trump. She says, like, you're just scared that you're going to get doxxed and death threats, or who knows where this leads, like detained. Honestly, that's not even like a joke. It's a real fear. It's so unfortunate that that's true, but I'm not going to lie and say I don't think about that sometimes and go, oh God, I can just say, I hope they all know I can be up on the gallows and say I was just joking. I'm a comedian. I hope that's a defense. I don't buy this. I just think that this is a ridiculous thing to say, and Trump doesn't give a shit. And it's like nobody thinks that Trump would deport or detain a comedian.
It's interesting what you said about projection, because I've noticed that a lot from the other side. When you look at Tony Hinchcliffe's Puerto Rican joke, they basically tried to use that to win an election.
Wow.
They were looking for that exact moment for somebody to mess up to nail him to a cross, which somehow made him bigger. But for a minute, it was touch and go. But if you look at Shane's trajectory or anybody else, I don't think Nikki does stuff that's necessarily left or really necessarily right. And I don't think that she has to be a political comedian. And if she makes jokes, I'm sure she's gotten death threats, and I'm sure that's all happened because she's a comic, and we all.
And when you're a public figure, you get death threats. I've got death threats. You've got death threats. It's just part of the gig. Yeah.
So I imagine the bigger she gets, the more and more she feels that. But I don't think it's coming from one side. I think it's her choosing her words very carefully for a magazine not to upset the left, even though she's kind of just afraid of both sides coming at her. I'm sure she's afraid to do a pro-Trump joke as well. You know,
I agree with Albert here in the chat. That's just her kissing Hollywood's ass. I think it's
what I'm saying.
She's got to kiss the ring a little bit. She's got to let everybody know what side she's on.
I mean, if you're hosting the Golden Globes, do you blame her?
No, that you got to secure that bag.
Yeah, there's no reason to not. I mean, and if it's not her politics too, why give a fuck? Just keep making the money you're making.
Right. If it's not important to her to be outspoken about her politics, and if she is truly a liberal or truly a Democrat, great, it all works out. But if she's like a closeted, maybe Republican or closeted perhaps Trump supporter, like, but she's just making so much fucking money, then it's like, well, that's just the price.
It's just the price of doing anything now, is you just have to deal with the fact that there's backlash for everything you say. But I don't see the like string you up from the right that I've seen from the far left.
No, nobody from the right would care or would come for her at all, because look what happened with Whitney Cummings. Nothing happened. She made jokes about, oh God, COVID. It was so like everyone applauded her so much for her New Year's Eve jokes about like, oh, COVID was so crazy, and it's like everyone's like, wow, she's so base, she's so cool, she's so real, and I'm like, it's 2025. There's literally never been a more safe time to have these takes. She risked nothing, she lost nothing.
Yeah, these were takes that we had in the moment because we didn't believe it and we're saying it. It's very easy to see stuff in hindsight and call it out.
Yeah, but again, nobody. I mean, I talked shit barely, but nobody on the right came for Whitney Cummings. Just like nobody would come for Nikki Glaser. We don't care about that sort of thing.
No, and I mean, and yeah, to Whitney's point, I mean, it was kind of funny to do it in front of Anderson Cooper anyway, and it was completely like inappropriate. But
and he's just like he was very awkward.
But with Nikki, with all the roasts and stuff she's been on, I mean, you're talking about rape jokes, dead baby jokes, suicide jokes. Be
afraid?
Yeah, I mean, you've done all of it, so I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know how Deadline even spins the interview.
It's true. Right. They're probably like, of the whole interview, they're going to focus on this snippet because Hollywood's going to be like, oh, good. I'm afraid of Trump too. Yes.
Yes. We're all very worried that he's going to come for us.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we don't have water to put out Malibu.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Is it still crispy?
Well, part of it's gone. It's just gone. Like I went there a month ago and I just couldn't believe what I was looking at. It's just gone. And you're looking at a city that's gone next to a body of water.
It doesn't make sense.
And I remember asking why didn't they just use that? And they said, well, the salt could damage the land. And you're like, you mean like the fire's doing right now?
Right. It couldn't be worse. I would say right. Salty water is not going to be worse than fire.
Right. Considering it's near a beach, I'm sure they've had salt issues. It just makes no sense. And now they
could have just tried.
I mean, there was still cars just left on the side of the road, burnt out like it was Mad Max. It's insane how that governor has managed to lose Hollywood. Like you lost the only industry that state has, and it's going away.
It's very scary. I think it's very much well, was it done on purpose? I think they very much took advantage of the situation. Be like, okay, cool. Now we can set up a 15-minute city and do what we've always wanted to do.
Well, and he kind of said it. You know, he let stuff slip almost immediately. Well, we're going to have some surveyors come and see if we can, take this singer's house and turn it into a cheap condominium because she was only insured for half of it. Just little, because when you look at that, that's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. You think they're going to have that old, beautiful stone architecture of old Hollywood? It doesn't exist. It's just going to be drywall and bullshit and an eyesore. Yeah,
it's just the end of an era.
Mm-hmm.
AC Kuderik. Oh, you look like a goat. Thank you for the 5. How close are you guys to the P. Diddy O'Keefe stuff coming out this Friday? Word on the street, thoughts? I have no clue what that's going to be about, but I hope James O'Keefe stays safe. And
what is the P. Diddy O'Keefe stuff?
I think James O'Keefe is coming out with something on Friday where he's going to do some kind of like breaking news, like info about
who's on the list,
child trafficking and. Maybe, but something related to like human trafficking, child trafficking.
Am I the only one that thinks he's innocent?
P. Diddy?
I'm kidding. That's why I'm wearing my LA hat today. Because it's not the New York rap scene.
Oh, right.
I'm very interested to see how this goes. I think he either gets off scot-free or they throw the book at him completely. I don't think there's going to be any medium.
Right. And I think my guess is he'll probably get off because he'll sing and he'll give them a lot of information.
Oh, I think he'll give them. Yeah. I just don't know if you can put P. Diddy in witness protection.
He'll have to just change his name again.
Yeah, that's true. All he has to do is that, and you don't know who he is. He's a whole new artist.
Yeah, he'll be like, oh, there's someone new called Padid. We have no idea
no
who
clue.
he is.
Pudding just came out, and boy, his tracks are hot. He was never a great rapper.
Pudding. Janelle Rella for 2. Dave and Ant were the best duo, and Ope was always awful.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's exciting when women watch your show.
It is actually, yeah.
And look, she's pretty.
Yeah,
she's looking at you lovingly. Look at that.
Do I look back? I appreciate it. Yeah, that was always fun.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Okay, I wanted to also get your take on this. This happened a while ago too, but this was, these viral comedy moments don't happen too often. So, this is a comedian, Natalie Cuomo. She had this very viral crowd work moment. This happened, wow, it seems like longer ago, end of February.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this clip?
I am.
Okay.
I haven't really watched it, but I saw it going around for quite a while.
Okay, so so she puts this clip out, which was, by the way, like she put it out herself. It's not like somebody else put it out, but the first version she put out was edited, and then it came out on Reddit, the original version, which made her look even worse. So, but she put it out as kind of like an own, like I'm owning this audience member. So this might be the edited version. I'm just gonna play it again to remind the audience because it's been a while since we've talked about this.
Oh my god, I love it! Okay, wait, what made you want to ask him?
Huh? Why are you making it sound like we're a couple?
Oh my god, don't get scared.
It's not my
What? Oh, it's not that. Wow, it's not that. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
I could leave right now if
I
I
can
wanted.
roast you too. You can't just roast all of us and get nothing.
Whoa! I see. So you were afraid because you felt like I was saying you're gay.
I can take the mic if you want.
It's okay. He's your new friend.
I will say this, it is such a hard time in this world right now. There are so many people that came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting fucking look me in the eyes. You're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eyes. This is the last, look at me. It's the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit to me, okay? So don't fucking do that.
Okay, thoughts so far. Dave, you've been doing stand-up for how many years?
21.
21. That's a lifetime.
Yes, it is.
Thoughts on this moment? How you have handled it?
Well, the guy in the front row, I hate too. I hate when anybody calls something a roast. I'm gonna go roast this person. It's very it sounds
when they want a one-liner. Oh, roast me. They just want these shit on my friend with the pink sweater.
Right.
A roast is like an event.
And there's kind of this thing now where you have to do a little bit of crowd work because of the Matt Rifes and stuff, that it lets people know that you can control the crowd. So I mean, you have to do it in a friendly way. The thing that she did is typically what happens to a lot of comics that are newer. She had a meltdown and didn't know how to handle the situation. That's not saying that she's talentless or anything, but that's my honest assessment is she got way too angry and then flew up. And I would have never released this clip, but because it wasn't an own, it was just an overreaction. When he said that about no material, there's so many things you could just say. It's yeah, but look at you. You're better than anything that I have. You could just be self-deprecating and then go at the person. And if somebody says, hand me the mic, try it.
Why not?
I've done it, and then it's just the funniest thing in the world.
It is. Invite the person on stage. Have it be like a little talent show. It's going to be very memorable for the whole crowd, and that person, when they come up, if it's funny, great, that's a fun moment. And if the person sucks, well, guess what? Then you're like, you can say, this is why I do this professionally and you don't. And
really, I only will attack a crowd member like in the way of making fun of them is if they're heckling. But if you're asking somebody a question, you usually should look around, find somebody who looks jovial, like they're actually having fun and they want to be up front. Otherwise, why bother doing it? So I think it's just, and I've seen a lot of comics do this over the years. And I've seen a lot of really great comics now that have done this over the years, you know. I mean, I've seen people walk rooms because they're just going off on an entire audience.
Ooh.
And those people are famous now. So, but it's
anybody we know?
Yeah, I'm not going to say who, but yeah, there's a learning
Tell me
curve.
later.
Yeah, but there's a learning curve. But I've seen a lot of people do that, where there was a room in outside of Detroit in Livonia called Joey's, and some of the late shows were notoriously drunk. And I mean, you would see some really good comics lose their shit, but then you would see some really good comics rip the audience apart. Like Kurt Metzger could rip the audience apart. Like no matter what was being yelled at him, he was just going to roll with it and make it funnier regardless.
He's so funny.
And refused to move. So it would she just needs more training, and I think she just had a really bad reaction. That's all. I mean, I don't think it's horrible. I just think it's a
really fair assessment. Just I never would have voluntarily posted this clip myself.
No, I absolutely would not have. And I mean, obviously she has a fan base. If she's got, if it's a sold out show, it's the last weekend, people are chanting her name. But if you're not ready to kind of do that crowd work and improv, don't do it.
Yeah. Don't go there with the audience member.
That's the problem. Is there's so many people who want to do a version of a comedian instead of just be themselves.
Oh.
And sometimes when you do that, or you try to do something like that, it's just not for you. I mean, eventually.
What do you mean a version of a comedian? Like try to be like another comedian?
Well, there's that. I think when you start, for anybody, I think you have your favorite comedians, and there's this time where you sort of emulate it. Like when I first started, I'm sure you could see Dangerfield and you could see Dave Attell. And when I first saw Shane Gillis, it was Louis C.K. When there's always like this person who you can kind of see that they admire because they're learning. And I think that goes for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think once you discover your own voice, you don't necessarily have to do what's popular. I mean, some crowd work comedians are absolutely amazing. If you're looking at like, R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried, or obviously Don Rickles, but even newer, if you're looking at somebody like a Matt Rife, you can hate him, but he's figured out how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his own voice. And I think just trying to do something because somebody else is successful is going to be kind of a guaranteed failure if you're not ready for it.
And how do you think a comic finds their own voice? Is it just through reps? Is it just through kind of really trying to, like, is it self-awareness?
It's rejection. It's bombing. It's learning from what doesn't work. I don't think you really learn from killing. I think the killing helps when you're able to see how to write a joke, how it works, or something you did that you discover that talent. But I think when your voice is similar on stage and off, or at least you know it, you're aware of it. I mean, obviously Gilbert wasn't that, but when you are aware of who you really are and what your point of view is, I think it just happens naturally, and then you kind of evolve. But the thing that's fun about comedy is you'll never master it. You'll never be the best at it. You'll never be the number one. It doesn't matter. There's so many people that can try it, and you can always learn and grow. It's
like the medical industry. It's a practice.
Yes, it's a practice. Mm-hmm. That's right. And laughter is the best medicine. See?
We're like Thank doctors.
You. I know. I have that tattoo. I'm kidding, but I think she might.
Let me see if there's anything else on this clip.
You can leave.
Oh yeah, then she orders the guy to leave, takes his friend's
I don't
phone,
mind that.
takes his friend's phone and then texts him from the friend's phone. That was funnier. You can leave. I won't be offended. And then the person texts him. She is sensitive, especially for a comedian. She texts back, a picture of her giving the finger. She had fun. The point is, she's beautiful, has great teeth. She's very thin. Teeth. She's pretty.
Thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she just snapped and overreacted. We've all done it.
Yeah.
I've had terrible moments where I've gone off on people and lost the audience. And then I've gone up a lot of times where I've had women in front of me, and if there's like a table of guys being shitty, I would spend the first 10 minutes being an asshole to whatever table that was. So it's like I'm just focusing on like man buns and like everything that's wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just rage. And eventually I learned to make that work.
Yeah.
But there were times where I've wished death on people, and it's like, this was unnecessary.
From stage?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you should never like venomously call somebody a cunt, but I think at least from
cathartic.
Stage, it is cathartic, but there's definitely times where like I've walked out of clubs where there's a girl crying saying you ruined my birthday, and I don't feel good about myself.
And it was a memorable birthday.
I mean, there was one woman I remember at the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase who was yelling at my friend Connie the whole time. So then I just went up and did it was a solid 7 minutes on just the fact that she was dressed like a schoolgirl and what a whore she was, whatever it was. And everybody was laughing. Then she ran out crying. And then she went upstairs, and the box office chick was a friend of mine. And she's like, that comedian's just horrible and mean. And she goes, I know she is. You should wait outside. No. And then she walked out into the snow, and then she just shut the door and locked it behind her.
Oh, my God.
So it was, and then there's times where I'd get on stage. The second I got on, you'd hear some dickhead yell out. And then I would just I realized, just calmly come back with something funnier like you should be able to do, and then you win. You never want to lose your shit like that, but definitely don't put it on the internet.
Yeah, I just to me that's like, you don't want them to see you sweat. You want to be like a duck, like you don't need them to see your feet pedaling under the water.
Anger never looks good. It's why you were just showing the Opie clip. It's just not, if there's passion about something, that's different. But if there's just visceral anger, or just,
it's not a good look for anybody.
No.
Jim Marshall for 2. Moses Far From Home. When is its release? Love ya. I don't know what you're talking about, Jim.
I don't either.
Maybe this was meant for another show. Conrad Veet. She didn't own him. She let herself get triggered by a catty gay guy. Oh, yes. True.
Who hasn't?
Stay away from the gays. They have too much power.
They have a lot of sass to just go in on a gay guy.
Mm-hmm. Junior for 2. Kramer's outburst was better than Natalie's. Oh, that was a great outburst, wasn't it?
That was another good example of somebody who shouldn't have been doing the show that night. Did you ever hear Jeff Garland's story about that?
No.
Jeff Garland had to go on after him.
What?
So Michael Richards is walking off stage and looks at Jeff Garland and goes, "Man, tough room tonight." And Jeff's like, "Do you know what you've just done?" But yeah, Michael Richards is he's
wow, I'll have to find that.
Completely disconnected from reality, that he had just screamed. I don't even think it was the N-word. I think it was more the lynching that really
was worse.
Yeah, it really was a bit. It's a great example of what not to do.
They should show that at every comedy class.
Yeah, he wrote a book though.
He'll be fine. Oil King Dave, are you going on Matt Christensen's show?
Who is Matt Christensen?
He does a podcast.
I'm not saying that to be a dick. I just don't know who off the top of my head. Maybe right. I do know him.
Maybe this is his Christmas wish. Dave, are you going to go on the Backlash show?
What's the Backlash show?
I don't know. Probably another podcast.
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, Oil King. Figure it out. Why don't you connect the dots and make this happen? Tweet at them.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
Patrick Quinlan. Both of you are very funny. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you
for including me in that. My goodness. Dave, I am so excited about this book. Well, it's out already. I can buy it right now. I'll buy it while we speak.
Thank you.
Do you prefer people go get it on Amazon, or are there any other sites that give you more money?
Amazon's good. But I guess it's available because it's on Goodreads, so I guess it's available at some other stores, but I couldn't tell you which ones. But Amazon is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
They kind of own the earth now.
They really do. And you know what? They deserve it. You can get certain things delivered to you the next day.
Sometimes that night.
Yeah.
If you do it early enough, it's like 10 p.m.
There
for
have
real.
Been times where I have like certain children's medicine, like something from the baby, like literally came in a few hours. I was
once you have a kid, you learn, you're like, this is why we must all stay inside.
Yeah. It's like, it's good to get that teething medicine like in a couple hours.
And the worst part is it's cheaper than if you just went to the store yourself. They'll just put a diaper company out of business.
So good about returns. Like,
yeah, you can go to Kohl's with something that you broke and they're like, okay, we'll send it back.
Yeah. It's just the best. Conrad, thank you again for the 10. Dave, I admire it when Matthew Marsden appears on Normal World. He's religious, but he's not uptight. What do you think about being devout and still being able to tell dirty jokes? Oh, I like Matthew Marsden too. He was on this show a few weeks ago.
He's fantastic.
He's really cool.
I really want to make a movie with him, and we're talking about it. We really want to.
An adult film.
Yes, he is handsome, isn't he? I'd let a man handle me with that lovely voice. I wish he would tell the off-screen stories that he has of people. That's incredible.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think you if that's your voice. I mean, I'm religious myself and I tell dirty jokes. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That's just my personal opinion. Although
Jesus himself had a great sense of humor. I'm watching The Chosen right now, which is an amazing, amazing show. We're already on season 3. And I think God likes jokes. I think God likes funny people.
So do I. And I mean, I do admire people like Nate Bargatze and people like John Christ who are able to do like an hour of actually funny, clean, because there's plenty of clean comics that are terrible, but the ones that are really good, I really admire. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if that's really who you are, then that's your voice. That's what you do. I think the way the world is, if a dirty joke is what's considered sinful,
you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, you're pretty well off.
Yeah. Rhinoceros, thank you for the 5. In the current day, maybe Michael Richards was Nostradamus. Whoops. You're funny sometimes, Ryan. Thank you. Oil King again. Dave, have you read the Book of Judges?
No.
In the Bible?
Is it in the Bible?
I don't know.
I'm Catholic. I've never actually read the Bible.
Oh, you must.
No, I have. I actually have one right here.
Oh, good.
This is how serious I'll be.
Look, it's arm's length away.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I got this one because it actually makes sense and it's explained better in modern English for when I break stuff down. And yeah, I don't mind. But no, I don't know if the Book of Judges is in there.
Maybe it's something else. Matthew Hammond, where are comedy movies? They stopped making them in the 2010s because everyone became a pussy.
I believe The Hangover may have been the last one because The Hangover 3 is an action movie.
Oh man.
I would love to see a really good comedy, but I can't think of a very good one I've seen in
the last 15 years.
Probably. I mean, there's stuff that works for kids, which you'll find. But other than that, like an actual like adult funny film, there's really not much.
Nope. Bob, Fan, and Patrice. Dave, will you be reading your book into Audible?
Yes, I will. I am recording it this week. I was supposed to record it last week, but I was a little hoarse.
Nay.
Yes.
How exciting.
I was the pony.
Wow, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you, Dave. You're absolutely crushing it. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you helping me whore my book.
Where can people find your dates and anything else?
DaveLandau.com. You can see me on Normal World with Quarter Black Air Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on Blaze TV at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then my book, Amazon.com. But if you go to DaveLandau.com, it's all on there. I have tons of dates coming up in Ohio, South Carolina, just everywhere. I go around too much.
What are your top 3 favorite cities to do comedy in?
At the moment, Austin, Detroit, and I would probably say I'm going to consider the whole thing a city, but New Jersey.
Oh.
As much shit as New Jersey gets, I always have fun performing in New Jersey.
Jersey's the best. It's like Long Island, kind of. Matthew Hammond, should we set up a gifts and go for Michael Richards? Yes, I would support that. Amazing Disgrace. 97% of rappers started a GoFundMe for creating the N-word craze. Okay.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Stewie fell for 5. Man, Tough Room is the most Kramer thing in the world for him to say after all that. Oh gosh.
That is true.
So true. My goodness. Thank you so much to the chat for all your comments and questions. And thank you, Dave, for coming on tonight. It was great to have you. Great to chat and catch up. And hopefully we will work together someday soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. We will see you all. Oh my God, Oil King. One more from Oil King. Yes, it is. Read chapter 19 to 21. Great bit you can do. Okay.
I will.
I don't understand this either. Thank you, Oil King. Thank you, guys. We will see you all next time. Bye.